For some people who don't know me yet, first time seeing me, let me introduce myself. I am Marketa Jefferson. I'm certified pet groomer, certified holistic pet health coach, certified in pet massage and pet CPR, founder of Pulse Balance and the Rolling Coach. Franchise recruiter at Dapper Dale's Mobile Pet Grooming. That's the t-shirt you actually see now. And I am a 3 times Best Mobile Groomer nominee on Long Island, New York. And I was recently featured on TV show called The Blacks. And it didn't come out yet. So as soon as it comes out I will definitely let people know. Should you groom your dog at home? That's a question of today. I decided to create this webinar because I realized there isn't much quality education out there for pet parents who want to learn the basic of grooming their dogs at home. There are tons of YouTube videos, of course, and some of them can be helpful, but it's really important to be careful who you are learning from. I named this webinar Snip or Skip because of my experience working in animal hospital. I saw many emergencies caused by well-intentioned pet parents who tried to groom their dogs at home. Some thought it wouldn't be that hard, but ended up accidentally cutting their dog badly enough to need stitches, unfortunately. It was traumatic for both the dog and the owner, and it often made future grooming much harder because the dog remembered that fear. I never want that to happen to anyone. That's why we're here, to learn how to make safe, informed choices. If you decide to use scissors or clippers, please take it slowly. Practice on a stuffed animal first before putting your dog on the table. It takes only a second to cause an injury. Always remember, the goal is to make your dog comfortable, not perfect. That's my little grizzly boo. What we're going to cover today. Why many empathy is crucial for your dog's well-being, basics of grooming, tools, techniques, and tips for safety. I wish I could teach you how to groom today, right? For like the hour. I hope you really don't think today I will give you that lesson that you can go tomorrow and start to groom your dog. Please. If that were true, groomers everywhere would be out of job. It only took me a year to learn and be where I am now. So instead, we will keep it simple. I will share my favorite basic tips, things to watch out for, and how to make grooming at home a little less stressful. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat with the question mark up front or save it for the end of the webinar for questions and answers. All these pictures you will see today in my presentation are my babies I used to groom. And this is my baby Dallas, he's so cute. Why grooming still matters. Even if you still visit a professional groomer, maintaining your dog between appointments makes a big difference. That's right, Chris, you said yes. Dogs can get matted very quickly, especially if they miss appointment because they are sick or you are waiting weeks for an opening or you just simply forgot to make an appointment with your groomer and now she's booked. Regular brushing helps keep their coat healthy and prevents painful matting, which can lead to skin problems and sometimes require shaving, as you can see in this picture. And it's really nothing comfortable for the dog or for any groomers to shave the dog down to skin like this. When to seek a professional. I always recommend working with a professional groomer on a regular basis. But I also understand sometimes your dog is old and sick, or grooming is expensive, sometimes vaccination policies get in the way, or maybe you just can't find a reliable groomer in your area. In those cases, do as much research and preparation as possible before trying to groom your dog at home. I am like obsessed with before and after pictures. Everybody knows that about me from my previous clients. So I used to do almost all my clients before and after picture. That was my favorite. This is one of my rescues, before and after. I'm gonna show you on next slide another of my favorites before and after. You ready? There you go. So this is pretty much me every day when I used to groom, before and after when I got home. Why short nails are important. Long nails can cause pain and discomfort. Overgrown nails can alter posture and lead to joint issues. Nails that are too long can break easily, leading to infections. Proper nail care contributes to overall paw health and mobility. Sans your dog's nails are too long. Obvious, you can hear it. The clicking on the floor, right? The wooden floors, the little slipping. That's a first sign. Nails are curling under or touching the ground. That's exactly like in that picture. Difficulty walking or limping. Avoiding harsh surfaces. Uh, Sometimes if you are not able to cut your dog's nails for any reason, I tell people to go and walk on the street for a little while because it really grinds the nails down. And I can tell you how many of my clients are walking dogs daily because I don't have to really cut them. It really grinds itself. Um, so the different environments are important. And when you look at the dog paw, the nails should not be really touching the floor. I want to show you a quick video. Hopefully, you will be able to hear it. Let's try it. You gotta give me a thumbs up or down if you cannot hear it. But there's a quick video how to cut the dog's nails. It's one of my very senior Yorkies. Can you hear it? Thumbs up or down? Okay. Okay. I was afraid of that. Let's see what I get there. That's it.
Some time to be comfortable to do that. I recommend to go little by little.
Okay, I'm gonna start from beginning.
Cutting black nails at dogs might be tricky and scary. I totally get it. It took me some time to be comfortable to do that. I recommend to go little by little till you see the black dot. Do you see? That's right there. That's when you have to stop, because if you cut any lower, it will start to bleed. There are things you can use to stop the bleeding. You can buy Quick Stop, which you can purchase at any pet store, or you can actually use cornstarch if you have it at home to stop the bleeding. It's really important to cut dog's nails often because they will grow long and they might break, and that's cause a problem.
Perfect. So, another question a lot of people have: if you get a puppy, what age should we start grooming our dogs? I always say there is really no age requirement, right? If you get a puppy, in order to take it to the groomer, they will ask you for vaccinations and stuff like that. But you can start bathing your dog at home, introduce them to the blow dryer. So you can literally start right away. Even now, you are not really certain how to do it. You just start slowly and you try to introduce the dog little by little. However, instead of using tools immediately, focus on the training, introducing your dog to the process, help them get comfortable with. Having their paws handled gently, touching them with the brush clipper. Every time you do that, reward your dog. You can just hold his paw, he lets you, you give him a treat. So he associates the touching and brushing and just messing with something good. The sound and feel of clippers or a grinder. Positive reinforcements like treats, what I was just saying. Short, stress-free session to build trust. I usually say to my clients, sit on the couch and brush them for a little bit. You don't have to do everything in a day. You can clip few nails today and few nails tomorrow. Introduce them to blow dryer, all the sounds. I'll tell my clients too. I saw that when they spray them with water, don't do that, it's bad, and they spray them with water. I'm like, no, please don't do that, because the dog associates the water with a punishment. So when we groomers put them in the bathtub, they flip out. Always keep it safe, balance, good energy, and calmness is the key. I have a few other videos for you to see. One is about brushing. One is about a client that he called me that no one can cut the dog's nails, and it took me 1 month probably of a few sessions just to get him to the point that you will see. And this one is a funny one. So Bear was really a rescue from an animal hospital, and we did so much on him, shaving, IVs, that he is terrified of any tool. So it took me really forever to teach him just to be good grooming. He still has his moments, but he has this bad thing. If you say, can I cut thing? I don't want to say it here because he's right behind me. He goes ballistic. I'm going to show you the video. Hope you can hear it. That some of the dogs like it and some of the dogs don't. And Bear is one of them that I cannot even say the sentence, what am I going to do? Because he will flip out. He's my little psycho. So I'm just gonna say one sentence and you will see what he does when I say that I'm about to cut his nails. Bear, can I cut your nails? See, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it, but I can't even say it. I'm not gonna say it anymore. Okay. So I am not allowed to say the sentence, but I know how to do it now without stressing him out. So, see you later. Yeah, that's my little crazy psycho. But now I'm able to do that thing, but I cannot say it. You know what? I never thought about it. Maybe I'm just gonna say that in Czech. I don't think he understands. I don't think he's bilingual, so we should be fine. Another video I'm gonna play for you is how to brush your dog, just quickly. So you're gonna start to brush your dog. You go little by little all over the whole body from head to tail. You have to focus on the area where the dog gets usually matted, which is ear, behind the ear, here if the dog has a harness, collar, and then legs, and of course the tail. So I'm just gonna show you a little sample. You brush like this, little by little. It doesn't hurt at all. When you brush this little piece, you take the comb, you go right through it, and if you are able to go right through, that means there are no mats and everything is brushed out. The same with you lift the leg a little bit and you brush like that. You can brush your dog when she is laying on the couch, or you know, when you are playing with her, you always reward it with a treat, and you try to brush them as much as possible with always reward at the end, so they take it as a good thing, not a punishment. Yeah, and that's about it. And is you such a good girl? Yes. Okay. And this is one of my clients that it takes 3 technicians and a vet to cut the nails. And then I believe in energy and not to be scared of the dog. And this is the end. This is the end of what we were able to accomplish. If you guys can put yourself on mute, please, that would be awesome. Good boy. All right. Give me a paw. Give me a paw. That face says it all. See? He has that evil, like, she's gonna do it no matter what I do. I'm just not gonna bite her. I'm just gonna sit. Oh my God, look at the evil eyes. Yeah, so it took me a month, but he did really amazing after. You will get recommendation for my tools in that PDF, what I'm gonna send you. There are links to all the products that I recommend. I have them behind me, so you can ask any questions. Clippers, combing aids, buffers, Dremels. I like the lick pads too. Like I said, there's so many products out there now. And what I'm recommending, the shampoos, they are just websites. The other stuff that I have links to Amazon. If you would be so kind, if you order anything from I recommend, just use that link. So I get little teeny tiny from that because I affiliate with Amazon store. So this is the end of the presentation. This is the email address. You can email me with any questions, like I said, about anything, whatever is on your mind you need to discuss. I'm willing to just get on the phone or email and just answer all of your questions. Here is gonna be the list that I'm gonna send you with home. I'm gonna put that link right now in the chat so you can go and download it. These I love to use shampoos from For Ledger. They really are great. I think they are my favorites. Then Project Suds are nice holistic shampoos. They don't foam up so much, but they have a good smell to it. CBD Dog Health has a great product that protects from fleas and ticks also, and kind of replenishes the skin. That's why they call it that way. And the smell of lemon is just amazing. I really love it. A lot of groomers these days use dog drying towels. I'm gonna show it to you when I finish. And then all the different clippers. You can look and you can click and you see, and I will talk about them also now too with any of your questions you have. To stop bleeding, like I said, you can use cornstarch at home. Whatever, it's very easy. It works the same as the Quick Stop. This Quick Stop powder is really good too when your dog has warts or scratches and it keeps bleeding. The second you put the powder on it, it stops the bleeding. So it's a really good tool to have at home. Then what works the best for my bear with his anxiety is the CBD dog oil from CBD Dog Health. It's called Calm, and that really works for good for a lot of my clients. I also have Calming Comfort Pro from Standard Process on my table. It calms bear a little bit, but I guess every dog reacts to all these calming aids differently, and I think it's really important for you to try it before you trying to go traveling or the fireworks or the thunder, because every dog needs a little different dosage. So because it's holistic, you're really not damaging anything. So I would recommend try one product, didn't work so much, so either increase the oil or just switch something else. And a lot of my clients find out, okay, the second one worked or the first one worked already. So that's a good way to practice besides giving them trazodone or all the sedatives from the veterinarian that they affect their organs. Then we have different brushes. My favorite brushes are from Walls. Every time when you brush a dog, you have to have a comb like this because that really will indicate if you have dogs matted. And I'm talking about the Shih Tzus, Havanese, Cocker Spaniels. I'm not talking about labs or brushing, de-shedding dogs that this comb you won't use. And yeah, that's about it. So let me stop sharing. Perfect. So let me check. I see some question. Jonathan, thank you. Any tips for brushing short hair, like any different brush? Yeah, so short hair. Lori, are we talking about short hair like a French bulldog or lab? What short hair you mean?
For me, it would be for the bulldogs.
Oh, okay, bulldogs. Okay. Um, yeah, so um, I really like to use these slicker brushes even for the bulldogs. They are for de-shedding too, and they work really good on them too. With the bulldogs, um, it's I don't have the. Sometimes I use like these little ones too, and they don't really hurt, but they get that undercoat, like what's under really out. So that's really good to use for them. Um,
Are
then I have
those,
some. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, are those going to be both on the PDF?
Yes, they are both on the PDF, and then I will text you actually one that I used, but I'm not crazy about it. Do they have a lot of hair, your bulldogs?
I have a couple that have a thicker coat, and then I have some
Mhm.
that are, more thinner.
Okay, so then I have a tool that is especially for like de-shedding.
Mm-hmm.
But your dog has to be really a lot of hair so it doesn't hurt his skin, but it's a really good tool. I don't think I have it on me at this moment here, but it's a good tool. So I'm gonna text you that brush too. You might
Okay.
find it handy, and it's
And
from Walls also.
with those, since there's no matting issues, would you still recommend the comb through or just the brush?
No, that's the thing. The comb through is only for doodles, any long hair,
Okay.
poodles, like the dogs that require grooming as a haircut. For
Gotcha.
dogs that are boxers, bulldogs, and stuff like that, you just really want to brush their undercoat out, and you get a lot of hair out. Even, like they use the gloves
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so I like to do that too when I have them even wet. When they are wet in the bathtub, I take the gloves on and I do that in the bathtub. So you take the wet hair actually down away and then you just flush it down without, flying it all over. So
Gotcha.
that's a good
Perfect.
one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Um, Nikki, I have been reading that using a nail clipper can hurt them and crack the nail bad that fracture the bones in the paws. Um, is that true? And do you have a quiet line? What angle to clip them? Or is it, sorry, it's kind of, okay, now I see it. Or is it the best just use the grinder? I need CBD before I clip, so afraid to hurting him. Okay. So I have been seeing a lot of this new commercials. Don't use the clipper, blah, 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 right? So it does make sense what they're saying. But from my 11 years of experience, it really depends what nail clipper you use. Because if you use $5 clipper that is not really sharp, what you're gonna do when you're trying to cut the nail, you're gonna chew it. Like it's not sharp, like it's gonna take that nail and kind of you trying to take stick outside and you're trying to cut it, right? If you have a nice tool, you just do and it pops up like the nail, right? If you have a really bad cutting tool outside, you will keep doing this and that, and that's when you're crushing the nail, and it's so uncomfortable for the dogs. So what I do recommend, and I see from my experience that none of the dogs really like the nails cutting. So I recommend if you are willing to try at home, start with the Dremel, but you have to do it often because if your dog nail is that long and you're trying to cut it and do it with this, it's gonna take forever and the dog is gonna hate you. Just imagine you have to take so much off just with this. So get the nails to the size that you need and then you do it all the time. The question is when your dog doesn't want to be touched on the paws, right? That's a problem. So you're just gonna have nice, quick, sharp, uh, inexpensive clippers, and you just do cut, cut, cut. And that's something that you have to learn. So I usually say to my clients, take the twigs or take something at home like the straws and try to cut the straw so you feel comfortable. And then again, you have to know how to hold the dog. Because when you have the paws, you have to kind of see where you're clipping. So if you are at home trying to clip your dog's nail, I recommend somebody else holding the dog for you, and you can really see what's going on, and you can just be focusing on the nails cutting. So I do recommend Dremels, and on my sheet there are some Dremels, and even one of our holistic coaches, Naja, just recommended me this morning a Dremel she found fantastic and the best from all of the Dremels that she used. Honestly, I have been using one Dremel for years. It's on the list too, and it's just like it's a really inexpensive, like a $20 Amazon clipper. It's on the list and it just works like a magic. Then the Andes have good ones. They have these silver ones now, so they work really great and they last forever. But you have to teach the dog. You have to not to put it on. You have to put it on your dog's paw and see what your dog does, right? And then if your dog doesn't like it, then like, okay, we have some work to do. So you start with the treats, you start with the training, and there is a webinar I did months back, and I think I'm gonna do it again about the nails because there's so much to it, and it's not something I can be teaching you in this short amount of time. But yes, if you can do this, that's so much better for the dog because you're not pressing the nail, you're not clipping it, they don't like it. It's like pretty much when we go really short on a nail, it's kind of really weird, right? That's what the dog feels. It's not comfortable. Okay, hold on a second. Or is it just best to use the grinder? I hope I answer your question, Nikki. If you can always call me. And I like the CBD. I give it to Bear sometimes too. Do you recommend any specific whitening shampoo? I like to use only holistic shampoos now, but if I do have to recommend shampoos, it's Groom. It's called literally Groom, the company, and they have really good shampoos, quality shampoos. They do the tricks. What do you use to brush Goldens? Again, the slicker brush, the shedding mat. I have small tools because I was focusing on small dogs, but this is one of the de-shedding brush that for the Goldens, they are this bigger and that this really goes well. Like it takes out the golden retriever undercoat out. And then when I take the undercoat out, I take the regular slicker brush and I go above it. And also, I want to show you one thing that a lot of people do. And let's try if Bear lets me. Hi there. Let's say hi to everybody. That's my baby Bear. So he's like, shit, I knew it's going to happen. So this is the slicker brush. He's a Pomeranian, so he has a double coat, but he has a special haircut, but he still has an undercoat and he still has his full of hair. So people say, I brush my dog. Okay, show me how you brush your dog. I'm done. No. So that's the thing, when you have double coated dogs, then you're brushing, you really have to start at the end to the top or from the top to the end. And you do brush a little bit. And I already see that the undercoat is coming out. And then you take that comb and you go through it. And that's when you show you really brush, because a lot of people take that brush on any long hair dog and they do just the top. And they come to me and they say, I brush my dog every day. I was like, yeah, you do brush it every day, but because we don't do like this and under and here. I know, I'm sorry. So this is really brushing, or the legs have to be brushed, right? So that's really the brushing. You get everywhere you can, not just on top. So every dog that comes to me, they are perfectly brushed on top, but not here. And then I have to call them. I was like, I really have to charge you the matting fee, because what happens, the dog is very matted. It takes me long. You want to go on the table too? The dog is very matted. I don't want to really shave it because they look weird, right? And then if I don't shave it, I have to demat it, and that's very uncomfortable for the dog. It's like literally we not brushing our hair for few weeks, and then we just take a brush and we trying to really go down, and that's exactly what you're doing to dog. You're just trying to take the mats out, and it hurts the dog. So when you're not brushing your dog and your groomer says, I have to shave it, sometimes they do have to shave it because it's better for everybody. Are you there? I know. And also this, a lot of people don't like this, but it's really for the security, because when you put that on the dog, they feel like they're on the leash and they know not to leave the table. A lot of people tell me like, don't hang my dog. I says, no, I'm not hanging him. I'm literally just making sure he's in a safe position. And the problem is what some groomers do, they leave the table like they have them on this, and that's what they do wrong. But for me, it's so much easier if the dog is on the leash, on that harness, because they know not to leave the table. Because every dog that you put on the table, they have tendency to jump down. So if you do end up having a table, just not even grooming table, but even table at home, put their towel, put their little carpet, and put them on the table, but make sure your one hand is always on the dog and you have all the tools handy and around you. Because the second you go and touch for something, the dog jumps down. And sometimes the dog has no clue and they don't see the distance, and that's when an accident happens. So it's easier for you to groom the dog on the table, but you really have to focus on the safety. It's either this, or you have somebody next to you and watching you, or you have all the tools handy. So that was the Goldens. How often should you clean your dog's ears? That's a good question, and it depends. Bear, I never clean his ears. I don't have to. Grizzly, there's always stuff, right? So if your dog has infections and some stuff is going on, make sure that you seek your vet to find out what's going on, because more you clean the infections and you dig into it, you actually aggravating it more. So they probably need antibiotics. And when it comes on regular basis, I really make sure every time when I groom the dog, which is usually on 6 weeks basis for the haircuts, that's when I check and make sure the ears are clean. I hope that answers your questions. My dogs have long quicks and I can always hear their nails on the floor, and groomer cuts them every 4 weeks. They are Cavaliers. Yeah. Some dogs, if you don't walk them, they grow like crazy. I have 2 Dachshunds in the neighborhood. One Dachshund, I don't have to hardly do anything. And the second Dachshund, for some reason, his nails grow so much. So I go there and cut them all the time. So it's really interesting that she goes there every 4 weeks and it's still long. So I would just like to see, like, and again, like, people tell me, it's like, you sure you cut the dog's nails? I'm like, yeah, I did, but I cannot go any lower, because if I go lower, I would actually cut the quick and it will start to bleed, right? So maybe when she's there, you ask her, like, are you right on the quick? And if she says yes, she cannot go any lower. That's when you have to do cutting nails more often. And that's when you take the Dremel and you do it in between the 4 weeks. Because when you start to Dremel, it keeps cutting the quick, not cutting the quick, but kind of not having the quick able to grow, and it starts to shorten it. But you would have to do it the week after she leaves. You would have to Dremel it and then Dremel it again. And at one point, like let's say 3 months, you would get to the short nails that your cavalier needs. So 4 weeks at that moment is not enough. And it's either because she's not really cutting that as slow as she could or she cannot. And that's when you have to take the Dremel and you have to keep on top of it and figure out how to cut it even lower, because you are able to cut the dog's nails shorter, but you have to keep on top of it. So if somebody says, like, my dogs are nail, I tell them, come to me every week for that. And you will see in 3 months, they are that short because I keep constantly cutting and I'm not hurting the quick. I'm just really filing the quick. The same for Italian Greyhound. As Bulldog, do you really need brush? And Italian Greyhound. Again, it depends. Does your Italian Greyhound shed? My mom and dad have Vizsla. You don't have to brush these dogs, but she sheds like crazy. So they do brush her. I had miniature pinchers in previous, and I never brushed these. I never ever brushed them. Like there was no need. So I say grooming is really important, because when you brushing the hair, it's like we brushing the hair and we getting the dead hair out from our hair, right? That's why we brush our hair every day in the morning and at night, because we get the dead hair and the dandruff out, and that comes for your Italian Greyhound. You know, some people won't brush them, but it's good to brush them because it kind of it massages the skin, and the skin is growing the hair, and there is the whole circle of getting rid of the dead hair and giving a space to new hair to grow. What about a boar bristle brush for them? Boar bristle. Hold on, I have to look this one up. Boar bristle. Boar bristle. English lesson. English lesson images. Oh, yeah, this one. Okay. I don't know why. Never.
I could have just showed you on the camera.
Yeah, so the boar bristle brush for them, for what dog again? I missed it. Patty, what dog? For the boar
Oh,
bristle.
it's for Elise and her Italian Greyhound.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what you're saying. Yes, I like those too. Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty good because you kind of cleaning the dandruff, you cleaning the hair, and it's nice and soft. And yeah, they have different ones. That's a good idea, Patty. Yeah, that's a good one.
Would that be like a one for humans, or they have them for dogs that are boar
They have them
bristle?
for the dogs, yes. When you actually look it up on Amazon and you say that boar bristle brush for dogs, they have really nice ones that you can put your hand in it, and they have this like holding, so when you brush your
Right.
dog, it doesn't slick, and it's really actually cool. And they have different kinds, like really, really soft, and then a little harder. So you will see how your dog is sensitive to, and I like to buy a small one, big one, and just to see how they're reacting to it. Because what I also find, some dogs don't like some kind of brushes for some reason. They're like, I put the brush on them, they're like, no way. That's why groomers have so many different brushes and everything, because it just every dog reacts to the brushes differently. It's like, you know, we all have different brushes too, because I don't like this brush. This brush feels so much better when I do my hair. So it's pretty much the same for the dogs, but we can talk about it, the dogs just give us a like finger, like no, another brush available. So please discuss grinder. I started training my little ones with it since they came home. Okay, the grinders. Elise, do you want more to explain than I explained
No,
before?
I think you took care of it. I just wasn't
Okay.
sure if we were supposed to really use both, but it sounds like only if it's on the long side just to get there
Yeah,
quicker.
so as a groomer, I always go to my appointments and the nails are too long. So there's no way I can, buffer and buffer because I would be there for an hour to get to the size that I need. So what I do is I cut and then I buffer so it's not that sharp and I really make sure they are as short as possible and I can see the little quick in there. But I think the Dremels are so much better if you can train your dogs to be okay with that because you avoiding the cut when you cut too quick and the blood is all over. And let me tell you, I was going through the grooming school and I remember flying to Czech Republic and telling my parents, oh my God, I'm gonna become a groomer. I was so excited. And I take the nail clippers. We had a Rhodesian Ridgeback. I go, I know how to do it. And my dad is like, you are not even done with the school. Don't touch my dog. I was like, Dad, I know. Oh my God. Of course, I clipped too short. And we didn't have a quick stop. There was no cornstarch. And my mom is flipping out. My dad is screaming, you fired. See, you will never have a job. And the dog, Rhodesian Ridgeback, is bleeding. There's blood all over. And I'm like, oh my God, I killed my dog. And it was like, it's a bad experience because you are so scared. And me as a groomer, it took me a long time to be comfortable with the nails. And now I do, like, sometimes, I don't know if somebody saw it, but I took the truck, the mobile grooming, and I do nails cut for $10 when literally people line up and they come to me just for the nails cutting. And it's just like that. And it took me a long time. So I always say, when you are trying to clip the nails, go such a like millimeter, just a little bit, and just get comfortable with that, and just get comfortable with the dog for you. And it's like I just did the nails 2 weeks ago on a dog, and I know the dog forever, but the dog just flipped and literally bit me. And like, I'm like, oh my God, you never know when the dog is in a bad mood. You never know if the dog stepped wrong and you touch the paw wrong. It just can happen. So always go slow, just do one nail at a time and build that relationship with your dog. So you go from the beginning, just touching the paws, and it's okay. Then you putting the clipper on the dog, it's okay. And the same goes with the clipper. Every time when I have a puppy on the trick, this is my favorite clipper. It's Heiniger. They are $400 clippers, but they are professional clippers. I have them for 7 years already. That's how amazing they are. So every time when you have a clipper, you put it on the sound and you put it next to your dog and you just let them use to the sound. Don't do anything. Just put a clipper next to them and run it. Have your dog at the lab, put the clipper on. Get them used to everything. When you have scissors, just do this around your dog so the dog is not flipping out. I know some of you had questions about cutting your dog's, hair in between here and there. So there's a little trick. Who wants to be my victim? How about Grizzly? There, he's gonna lay down. So I hope you can see it. So of course he doesn't have any hair here, okay? So a few tricks I'm gonna show you. I talked to Lisa about this one. This is a flea comb, right? You know all what we do with flea comb for the clip. But I love this tool for when they come and they have the eye boogers, right? This is amazing for the eye boogers. You can just put a little bit water in here. You don't have to put any chemicals, nothing. just little water here, you kind of wet it. And then you take the comb and you just literally put it like this and you flip it. You put it here and flip it. And I actually got the eye booger, believe it or not. So this kind of motion, so your dog doesn't get eye boogers stuck up here, because what I see a lot of times too, they have so many eye boogers here, they start an infection and it's not pretty. And then the eye infection, it just starts the whole thing. So this is a good one. Just this and that, you just wet it a little bit. And I say, hey, listen, when we wake up in the morning, we wash our eyes, right? So go to your dog and just clean it a little bit. The other thing about the scissors, when you are trying to do anything on your dog, you try to hold it under the chin, all right? Like literally here. I'm not pulling him, I'm just holding him to let the dog know, you're looking at me, buddy, and this is what we're doing, and just holding him under the chin. And the dog, you don't have to do anything, you just teach him this. I'm looking at you, right? Isn't he good? He's amazing. He's like looking at me, and I taught all of them, I can do whatever I want. I can take the scissors, and when you're trying to approach for the first time, you just kind of touch them and see how they react to it. And you never do anything before your dog is okay with this, right? Because they start to flip and this and, oh my God, that's when accident happens. So just hold them under the chin and put everything kind of, and when the dog is comfortable, then when you start to do stuff. I don't know, we can talk about the ears. I mean, like I said, I can talk about everything, but you always want to be sure that when you groom your dog, a lot of people, when they groom their dogs at home, they focus on this because they are only able to do this. But he doesn't stand. You guys know the story, but you always want to flip the legs and kind of work on it this way so you can see. So it just really a lot. And like I said, I think a lot of people realized during a COVID, when we were not able to come out and that dogs started to stink. And I remember people was like, do whatever you can do, but make yourself essential, because my dog is essential to you. And I saw the haircuts during the COVID people did. Oh my God. It's just like, I try not to laugh, but it's pretty much what happened to me last weekend when my son asked me to give him a haircut. I go, what? He was like, Ma, I want to save money, give me a haircut. So I took the dog clippers. I took the scissors. How did it go? Not good. He put a hat on and we went to a barber. And my son is mixed. So there is a little, the curly stuff going on. So we come to the barber, he takes the hat off, and my son was like, can you do something with that? The barber's like, I go, I'm sorry. I can cut dogs. I don't know how to cut people. And that's the same thing. I thought I can cut people, but my son is going to be wearing a hat for probably 2 weeks now till it grows back. So it's still something you have to go slowly, and you have to, that's why we say leave it up to the professionals, because they know what they're doing. When you take the clipper and you try to shave, on the parts, you can burn them. You have to know that you have to really put the spray on them, and it has to be cold, because when you are grooming, this gets hot. That's why dogs have hot spots or burns, because we forgot that this get hot, and as we are grooming our dog, we don't feel it, but the dog feels it, and then we will see it. And as we trying to save money on grooming, we end up at the vet because the dog has a burn and skin infection. so stuff like that. But I do understand a lot of dogs are old, cannot go to the groomers. So in that case, when they are old and they require vaccination, stuff like that, we just want to really make the dog comfortable and cut the nails. That's what's important. We want to make sure that they can see, so we know how to get rid of this. We make sure that the ears are clean. The dog is comfortable. If the dog has the hair in his paw, we want to learn how to really like scoop the hair in between the paws, because if you don't, they slide, and that's not good because they can hurt themselves, stuff like that. So it's important to know that really it doesn't take an hour or a month to learn how to groom the dog home, but you can get to the point that you will not hurt your dog when you're trying to do it at home, or your dog doesn't have to have a hoodie on for 2 months and not be able to walk outside and ask who the groomer is. So stuff like that. Let me check if there are many more questions. Do you recommend any external products that help with shedding, or is it diet? So it's mainly the diet, and also if you have a dog that sheds a lot, you will help the shedding and decrease the shedding by frequently brushing the dog. So it's the combination of a fresh food diet, finding out why the dog is shedding. Is it shedding because he's just losing the double coat or regrowing the hair, or is it shedding to the point that I had a dog that I actually saw the skin of the dog, and the guy's telling me, oh my God, he shed so much, I don't know. And I was literally going there 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. And then I says, okay, we have to have a talk. It's not me coming here every 2 weeks for $300. It's not going to solve the problem. Let's figure out what your dog is eating now and switch the food. And the second we switched the food and did some omega-3 and some good supplements for the hair growth, shedding was still there. That will never disappear, but amazing how the dog filled up with the hair. So I would definitely look into that. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to email me or call me and we can go over that. Do you have any tips for tear stains? There's a lot of products now that they are trying to recommend. The tear stains, again, come from the inflammation of the dog. It can be sensitivity to something. That's why they are staining the tears. I recommend every morning clean the eyes, like I said, and make sure they clean, because that what stains the eye drops that come here, and like they state, that's what makes that place brown. And a lot of people swear by putting apple cider vinegar in the water of the dog helps with the stains. Yuki saying no. See, so that's what it is. I mean, there is zillion products out there. Everybody swear, buy this product, it helps you with tears. But so far I had 3 clients that the food made the difference. Switching the good quality food made a difference. Suddenly there was no brown spots, no, like sometimes you can see the dogs are licking themselves and the white balls are actually brown. So again, that's allergies, that's sensitivity. So you have to always look where it's coming from, and it's usually from the gut. So that's when you start if you want to accomplish that. My breeder recommends Diamond G for grinding. Is it on the expensive side? Doesn't get hot. Okay, yeah, I heard about that. There are sprays also that you can spray on the tools, and they make it cool within a few minutes. A lot of groomers use that too, so that's pretty good. Hey Marketa, my senior dog has a mobility issues and needs paw grips to support him. what can you use to clean his paws before putting the grips on so they stay on for 4 days? So if you just clean his paws, I usually just do the wipes, or I like that they have actually dog wipes now too, or I literally just clean it with a little bit of vinegar and warm water, and it kind of cleans it, disinfects it, and then even if they find, somehow they lick it in between, it's not harmful. So just really plain water and vinegar, wiped it down, dry it, and then put the grips on the paws. That would be my trick. I have 2 Maltipoo's and 1 mini poodle. Get them to groomers every 5. Ooh, okay, fun. 1 minute, get them to groomers every 5 weeks. Should I bait them between visits? Should you bait dogs between the groomer visit? It depends if they are dirty, right? You can, you don't have to. I have clients that their dog is in the yard, gets dirty, so they bathe them before the next grooming visits. So it's really individual. If you think they are dirty, they stink, something is going on, they roll in the, roll outside, yeah, you can bathe them. There was this thing like, don't bathe your dog too often because you're messing up the oils. I don't know. I see people baiting the dogs all the time. I don't see the skin problems just because they baiting the dogs too much. If they baiting the dog too much, it's because they are using bad shampoo, not the real good dog shampoo, or they don't know what they're doing. But the myth is like, don't bait your dog more than once a month. I have my neighbor has 2 dogs. He never bathes his dog. It's crazy, never. And and they totally fine. So again, it's up to people preferences. Some people prefer to bathe them before in between. So it depends. Susan. Okay, so I'm gonna take one more question. From Susan, I have a dog with severe skin problems and nothing is working. I use antibacterial antifungal shampoo twice a week, but it's not helping. He was on antibiotics and then it helped, but it came back. So this is exactly what we were just saying with Yuki. It's coming from the gut, okay? Obviously the antibiotics help for a second, but it's only a temporary fix. There is something more serious in your dog body, and they are trying to tell you that whatever you're doing so far, whatever they are suffering, is not helping. So we have to really dig deep and find the core and like the base of the problem. So if you would like to contact me, and we can do a session and find out what your dog is eating, because no antibiotics, no shampoo is gonna really treat what's going inside of his body. So we have to get to the base and check the microbiome and change the diet and try from there. That's the only thing that I see it's working. I have a lot of dogs with skin issues, allergies, and going to the vet, putting them on Apoquel, Cytopoint, it's only temporary fix. You have to look in really deep what your dog is eating, because we are what we eat, and the same goes for your dog. Right, Terry? Teresa is one of my client that she did the sensitivity testing, Glacier Peak, and it's amazing because her Cocoa Bear, the white dog that you saw before, had literally raw paw, really, and it broke our heart every time we saw it. We were like, we couldn't figure it out, and then we did the sensitivity testing, and they cook for that dog. I want to be their dog. And within a few months, the progress in the skin, the ear infection, the smell, oh my God, the before and after pictures are unbelievable. And it's just because they went deep and they found out what what Cocoa Bear is sensitive to, and they switched the diet, and it's just amazing how it works.
Cocoa Bear is allergic to life.
She's so cute. All right, guys, let me put that link um into your chat. Please download it. If you have any issues, just let me know. But I think the basics that I'm trying to say is I'm not able to really teach you how to groom your dog in 1 hour here. You are more than welcome to connect with me and go through some basic steps or, ask some questions. But if you do have to groom your dog at home, just make sure it's safe. You're not going to hurt your dog. You're not going to cut your dog. If you're not sure, just practice on a stuffed animal or clip straws. Just practice on something else before you practice on the dogs, because I see it all the time. There was just this little mat. I was just trying to get it out. And there is like a missing skin because they took the mat and cut it right there. And it's just, it happens. It's accidents, but it just, it's not that easy. Like I said, I just got my son's parrot thinking I can groom a poodle. And I'm like putting a video like I got really black matted African poodle, And then I was like, oh my God. Yeah, he's not a poodle. I wish he was, because he would have the perfect haircut. But leave it up to professionals, if you have to. Yuki grooms her dog, right? Yeah. How long did it take you to learn? You still muted.
Okay. Well, it took a day. I took a class, but
Okay.
it took 5 hours per dog.
Yes,
So
that's right. I keep forgetting about that too. So my first dog, how I found out that I had that passion for haircuts, because I'm an artist, I paint. So my rescue, his name was Rumpole. We call him JJ, and he came and he couldn't even see because he had so much hair. He was from Carolina. So I took the scissors and I cut it. And I was like, oh my God, he can see. And he was so cute. And now I look at the picture, I was like, holy moly. And then when I started the school, little Yorkie took me 4 hours to groom. I'm like, oh my God, how am I supposed to make money? And now I groom Yorkie in 30 minutes. So it's practice, it's time. So it is doable, but let's just learn a little more before we start to practice on the dog. And there are enough of resources to really learn. And I'm willing to, work with you individually too, and just teach you the basics so you don't hurt your puppy. But it's really important for the dogs to be brushed, making sure every day you look at their skin. Sometimes people come to me and I flip the ear and I go, oh my God, there's an ear infection, and they don't know. And it's okay, they don't know, but it's important to learn that you should flip the ear and you should look into the ear. You should flip the, lips and look at your dog's teeth and kind of stay on top of everything what's happening with the dog, because you kind of can catch a lot of things from the beginning, not when it's too late. And even with the fleas, you can just take that flea comb and, start to just to see if your dog has fleas. That's great too. But my favorite is doing the eye boogers out. And a lot of poodles, Maltese, people do the powders and take the hair out. It's really, some people say do it, some people say don't do it. Every veterinarian has different opinion. What I do, I ask if the dog has ear infection or a pass with inflammation in the ears. And if I can see still inside of the ear, still with the hair, I usually don't touch it, because when you aggravate it, it starts the ear infection and stuff like that. Some dogs have to have the ear hair plucked, and they don't care, and they are completely fine. every grooming, nothing happens, right? So some dogs, what I used to have, I knew, do not touch the ears and the hair in the ears. If I do, oh right, Cocoa Bear too. If I did touch it, infection, and if I didn't touch it at one dog, it would create infection because when you have so much hair in the ear, there's moisture, especially the Cocker Spaniels, especially the dogs that has long ears and they have no airflow. So that's when the infection happens. So again, every dog is individual. Patties flipping the dog's ears there. Yes. Um, they have different stuff too I like this for the teeth. If your dog doesn't allow you to brush, I like to put this. It has some stuff on it, and I just literally go in the back and just pretend I'm playing with them, and they kind of don't even like I go with my hands and I stick it really, and they just don't even notice, and it's really good. And you can use they have different organic sprays too. Holistic spray, I spray it on it and I just clean it a little bit because they have a lot of buildup here, so you kind of want to take it out. Then this is the CBD comb I was talking about. Also, this is another kind of septic powder for the stop the bleeding. Then the shampoos and other common products. These are the mats I was telling about. Sometimes when you are giving your dogs a mat, you can put his favorite treats on there. You can stick it on the bed, and the dog keeps licking the treat, and you can do whatever you need to do. You can stick it on your fridge. You can put it on the floor and sneak in whatever you need to do. Sometimes I crush medication here or powder or supplements, and I put it in the yogurt or something, peanut butter, and they just love it. And it occupies them for a few because they're trying to dig it out. These are like the things what Lisa was showing me. They have the whole thing you can buy. It's the clipper, right? I like the cordless, but this you can plug in. On that list, you have some clippers too. I like when this is like metal, and they have the different size, so you don't have to constantly change the blade, but you have to. Jonathan, yes, I will share the recording with Dr. Root Circle. You have to learn how to switch the blades, because if you go too low, you literally can go shave. And oops, we don't want to hear oops when we shaving a dog. Loretta is here, actually. She is the one with the golden doodle. And I had an oops moment on Loki years ago. I literally had on a clipper. So when you use these blades, they usually, when you're trying to scoop the eyes, when you're doing the paws, when you're doing the sanitary, that's when you use this, right? Because that's really, really close. And then when you have these blades, you have different numbers too, and every number, means something. So when you are grooming, for example, the golden doodle, you have these combs attached on the clipper. So here I am grooming Loki and just, going with the music and having fun. This little thing snaps and I literally go on his side. And I'm like, shoot. I was like, oh my God. So what happened? I was like, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And I'm standing there. I was like, what am I going to do? So what I did, I shaved heart and I color with red. Loki comes running out of the car with a heart, and Loretta's like, what? But hey, listen, it was creative grooming, we call it. And
I loved it, Marketa. And he looked awesome. And I still have the picture.
Yeah, I do too. It's like what but you don't want to have this oops moment all the
That's
time.
okay. He loves you. You're his girlfriend.
Yeah, but Loki had my oops, and then I shared it on my Facebook with other groomers. So it's like that's a great idea, and now
It
that
is.
started to be a trend. Like the hearts or like a St. Patrick, they do the 4 leaves. It's like oh my god. So stuff like that. But anyhow, it's 1 hour and something already. I don't want to keep you guys. Was this helpful? Um,
Yes, very much
yeah.
so.
Okay, I wish I can teach you everything, but I spent $1,000 on my school, so if I could teach you all that in that 1 hour, that would be incredible. But it's always remember, we just have to never leave the dog when we trying to have him on the table or somewhere. It's all about safety and knowing what you're doing before you approach the dog. And if your dog doesn't like it, don't fight with him. And if you want to keep proceeding it, just train him to be okay with that. And when you working on with the dog, like for example, the biggest problem is with the nails, right? So you have to retrain the dog the bad habit that he had for so many years or months. Every dog is individual, but you are having a session with your dog to retrain his brain to find that they can trust us. So you literally sit on one spot with your dog and do a playtime. Then the second time you bring the brush, you bring the clipper, you bring the nail grinder, and you make him comfortable. Because now I have some dogs, you show up the clipper, what do? Gone. My truck pulls up in the driveway, gone. Can I change them? Every 6 weeks, can I retrain them? No, it's really hard. But I used to work with dogs that are not able to be groomed and they used to be sedated. And it took me a few sessions, but it's doable. You can retrain and reinforce the dog and show them that actually can be positive. And if not, just, contact me and we can go over it. There are some tricks and help that you can make your dog comfortable and give him a good experience because they should take it as a game, not a punishment when you're trying to do something. The ears cleaning, the teeth checking, and all that stuff. All right, guys?
Yes.
All right. Again, I
Thank
hope you
you.
guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope that you find it helpful. Again, holisticpetcoach@gmail.com. I will answer any questions you guys have, and I will try to do another webinar just focusing on the nails because I think it's very important. And I see a lot too when you go to your groomer and you don't like what your groomer does. Don't be afraid to say, hey, listen, can you do this next time? Or can you do this next time? Don't feel like you are not allowed. Don't feel like how many of us go to the hairdresser and we come home and redo the whole thing, right? I do that. That's why I never go. But when I see from the people they switching the groomers, I was like, you don't have to switch the groomer. You can just call your groomer back and you can say, hey, listen, oh my God, my Coco Bear, I love her so much. You can just tell them this is what I'm looking for, and you can just explain the groomer what you're looking for. People show me pictures. They give me a list of things that I need, to done on that dog, and it's okay. I cannot read your mind. So communication is also very important. Tell me what you want to have done. Tell me if I did something wrong. People go and do the bad reviews on a groomer. They don't give them a chance to say why they bad groomer. How they supposed to learn from that when nobody tells them like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. No, you're not hurting my feelings. You're actually making me better by bringing the subject back and telling me like, okay, I told you not to do this and you did that. That's how we learn. So don't be afraid to voice your opinion. Say that I would like this different next time. And, so you don't have to be switching the dog's groomers all the time and put them into a stress because they don't like it. Trust me, they don't like to be put from one place to the another and getting adjusted to a different groomer, because every groomer does things very, very differently. All right, so peace to everybody. Kiss every single dog you have at home. I wish I take them all. I wish I can groom them all. I would. Maybe you guys should pay me for all the plane tickets, and I will go. I will teach you how to groom at your house. But kisses to everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
It's slippery to climb up
What?
there.
Thank you, Marketa.
Oh, thank you.